Alright, welcome back to the channel. I am Demarius Jackson. I had a question on a previous video about Altissimo fingerings and what fingerings basically I use to be able to play Altissimo. What I've done is I made a PDF, and if you go down to my blog below, I'll have a link for it there. You can check that out, and also I'll be going over it with it now. So follow the link, download the PDF, and you can follow along with the fingerings that I use. All right, without further ado, let's get to it. There are two things prior to this, very important, that I use to be able to get those notes, and those are long tones and overtones. Two specific books that I used, have them both here. One, Top Tones for the Saxophone by Sigurd Ratcher. Once again, I got a link for this one down in the description as well. You can check that one out. And another book that was very beneficial for me was called Voicing by Don Senta and Denise Dabney. I'm not going to lie, it took me a very long time to be able to find this book. I found it at a Midwest Band Clinic Symposium in Chicago many years ago. I added that to my arsenal of books that I use, as well as Top Tones. So that's my background in voicing and overtones and long tones. This is assuming a lot of that knowledge. If you don't have the knowledge, leave me a comment. I'll make a video about that as well, but that's going to be it for another video. This one is specifically for the fingerings. So first thing I do is get very comfortable. I tell students to get very comfortable with their front fingering. So we have E. I'm going to get close to the camera here. We have E, like we normally play, right? Side keys and this one. I get comfortable with the front E. So if you don't know what that is, this is my front F, right? Top key here, fork F and C. That's my high F. And then we just put down the third finger, that's E. All right? So get comfortable with those. A lot of saxophone nowadays have this extra F sharp key, and I'm not saying don't learn it, but I am saying also learn the alternate fingering for high F sharp. If you don't know what that is, it's just like front F, fourth key, and C, and then we're going to add this key here. This is going to get F sharp. All right, and then the reason I say that, because it kind of acts as a bridge from getting from this F sharp to the next note, which is the high G. Now for high G, the fingering I use, octave key, front F is a little strange, side B flat, and my first finger. And it works seamlessly. It works great when I'm using this front F sharp, right? So we have this, and then putting this finger down, lifting up this finger. So we have F sharp to G. Once again, the G I use is fork F, octave key, side, and first finger. Excuse me. All right, another fingering. The first finger I used, I don't even remember where I learned it, but the first fingering I learned for G was 1 and 3 and 1 and 3, also with the octave key. I still use it sometimes, but I hate to say it, more than likely than not, if I'm using it in some kind of scalar pattern, I'm using this side one. But 1 and 3 and 1 and 3 also works. You can hear the tone difference, sharpness, flatness. It's going to be up to you to determine, right? You want to use your ear and obviously want to play in tune. All right, so those are the first two fingers I use for G. For G sharp, I use 1 and 3. 1 and 3 in the right hand, and side C, once again with the octave key. So we got 1, 3, 1, 3, side C. And this works great because if I'm using this 1 and 3 and 1 and 3 for G, I can easily just rotate with this side C and have like a trill action from G to G sharp. All right, moving on along. I know I'm going kind of fast here. We have the PDF. Please rewind and do all the things that you need to do. All right, so for high A, I use 2 and 3. All right, 2 and 3. 1, 2, and 3 in my right hand, and of course the octave key. I might as well say it now, use the octave key for everything. All right, so this is A. And a lot of times that A is sharp. One little bit of advice you can use to bring down the pitch is put down your low B flat here. I'll play, you'll hear the difference. So for A sharp or B flat, I use the same fingerings A, so 2 and 3, 1, 2, and 3, but I also add my palm D key. Once again, it's very good if you're trying to do that trill action from A to A sharp. And then for B gets really, really tricky, so try to follow along. There's 2 fingerings I use for B. The first one I learned, and this is a little odd, but you'll get the gist. Hopefully it will work for you. It's 3rd finger, palm D, of course with the octave key. And then in this hand, I have 1 and 3 and side C. Let's see if I can get focus. Uh-oh. And there we go. All right, that one works really well for me. A fingering that I learned later in life because, like I said, I try not to just play one note in the altissimo. I want to have fluidity. The same way I practice my scales and my normal registers, the same way. I want it all to be considered normal for me. So this fingering works better for me when I'm practicing, you know, lines in that register. So that's going to be 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, and 3, just like I'm playing a middle D. So this is my middle D, and we want high B to come out. All right, and once again, go back to those voicing books. If you like, leave a comment down. I'll make a video on that. We can talk about that as well. But once again, that high B, I either have this kind of awkward fingering, which I actually like. 3rd finger, D, 1 and 3, and then side C. Or I have it just like I'm playing your middle D. All right. Next fingering is high C. I only have 1 fingering for high C, or one that I use all the time. And that's going to be just like my G fingering. So this is where, once again, that voicing comes into play, manipulating your air string with your tongue and throat. But being able to hear the high C. And that fingering, once again, is going to be 1 and 3, 1 and 3 with the octave key. So we want... And if you notice what I did there, I played the exact same fingering for G that I did for C. It was all a voicing. All right, see if I can get in focus. I need to invest in some more equipment. All right, so that was C. We'll go over 2 more notes. We can keep going, but at some point it's a dog whistle exercise. All right, so high C sharp is the same finger that I use for my high E. So that's going to be my D sharp, and then we have E right there. And once again, I'm voicing it so it comes out to high C sharp. All right, that's C sharp. And then last is my high D. High D, the way that I finger it is just fork F and my octave key. All right, so those are the fingerings. Please leave, if you have any questions or anything like that, comment them below. I'll try to get to all of them, answer them to the best of my ability. And how do you practice this? Well, you practice it the same way that you practice everything else. So I go through arpeggios. I like to practice arpeggios the same way I do in my lower register. I'll leave that in there. Arpeggios are great just to kind of get those awkward fingerings. And once again, obviously, I did not start off playing these things. They are very, very slow. And then as well as scale. So scales for me come very slow. I'm still working on them. That's what I love about being a musician. I'll always be working on them forever. But you get the gist. It's I'll start off with F sharp so I can get used to that fingering if you're not used to it. I'm all glitchy today, geez. Alright, so minus all the mistakes, you get the gist. I'm going to go practice. Please, if you like the video, click like, comment, subscribe. If you have any questions, please leave them below. And check out my blog post for that PDF. And check out those books. I don't want to underplay the importance of those two books. The long tones and the overtones are what's going to get you there. Fingerings are great and everything. In high school, back in the dial-up age of AOL, I had a free CD. I looked online how to finger something, and it was like, and eventually it came out. Had no clue how it happened. Ended up with a ridge in my mouthpiece, my Yamaha 4C or whatever it was, because I was doing it incorrectly. It's all about voicing. Once again, if you have a question about that, please let me know. I'll make a separate video about it. Anyway, until next time, hope this helped you out. Happy practicing, and I'll talk to you later.